Hello everyone, welcome to tutorial 3 for the Google Earth training. In this tutorial I'll show you how to open Google Earth as well as how to navigate through Google Earth and some popular options to explore the satellite imagery within Google Earth. So you're going to go to your navigation area and just type in Google Earth, or Google Earth Pro, and it should be fit your best match as an application. Go ahead and click on that, and Google Earth should open. So here it is, and you'll get this. Navigate in Google Earth startup tips. These are helpful. It gives you some, tutorials and some helpful information about navigating on Google Earth. I'm going to go ahead and close it. So now what you see here is the Google Earth Pro interface. And if you have a mouse, that makes it easier to use Google Earth. It makes it easier to navigate. So with your left mouse button, your left clicker, if you left click and hold, you can drag the Earth to a location. So left click and hold is dragging, and then when you release it, it'll stop. Okay? And then to zoom in using your mouse, if you have a scroll or a scroll button, you can zoom in using the scroll button wherever you place your mouse hand, and you can zoom out using the scroll button. Okay. Other controls, if you don't have a mouse or if you're not comfortable using the mouse, you can zoom in with this slider, or you can zoom out. You can pan using this. And you can also change the angle that you look at using this. I recommend using a mouse. So zoom in, zoom out. If you drag, you can move around like this. If you want to change the angle that you're looking at the Earth. So I'm going to go into Phoenix, where the Intertribal Council of Arizona is. So I'm just zooming in using the scroll bar. I think that Intertribal is right here. There's the Herd Museum right here, and Intertribal Council of Arizona is right here. So if you see, as I'm zooming in, it's starting to tilt, and you can see that many areas within Google Earth have been rendered in three-dimensional. So if you have a scroll bar or a scroll button and you press down, you can actually change the perspective of Google Earth. So you can see some of the 3D rendering. Okay, so that is navigating using the mouse button. If you want to go someplace else, you can always scroll, zoom out and, go to a new location. So if I want to go to New York City, I can go to New York City, zoom in, and I can navigate that way. And sometimes it does take time to render because it is pulling in a lot of information. Okay. Another way to navigate Google Earth is to use this search area. So I encourage you to practice, navigating with your mouse, but also using the search area. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Paris, France. So it has a recommendation that I typed in France here, and I'm going to go ahead and click search. And it'll automatically fly me to Paris, France, to where I requested. And you can get even more specific if you'd like. There's Paris, France. And over there is the Eiffel Tower. So if you want to go to the Eiffel Tower, you can search the Eiffel Tower. or you can go to Paris and navigate to it. Okay, so the main areas and how to navigate with Google Earth is to search, use the search button, or to use your mouse. So a couple of pointers before we end this tutorial. There are buttons at the top of Google Earth Pro. These 4 buttons here that you see, a picture, and a printer and an email, those are ways to email a map that you created or email an image such as this that you created and save it and potentially send it out. This is a measuring tool button that will allow you to measure distance, it'll allow you to measure a pathway, it'll allow you to measure an area. This button here actually allows you to navigate to Google Sky, Google Mars, or Google Moon. So how you navigate in Google Earth, you can also do that for these celestial bodies. So for example, if I go to Google Moon, it'll exit out of Google Earth and open up Google Moon so that you can explore Google Earth or Google Moon like you would Google Earth. And there's different things on Google Moon just like Google Earth. If you click on this, the Apollo 15 landing, it gives you information. There are a lot of pictures within Google Earth that you can look at that can show you panoramic shots of different popular sites. So I'm going to go back to Google Earth. But it has Mars, Moon, and Sky as well. This button changes the time of day. So if it's important for your map to show different time of day, or that needs to be in the evening, or it needs to have morning light, I don't know many instances where that would be important, but I'm just gonna, for argument's sake, show you how that looks. So if I open this up, right now it's at it's showing 1:49 p.m., but I can change so you can see the shadows moving as we go to different times. So if you want to, I'm going to go ahead and show where the sun is. It tries to simulate sunlight, and then I can move it forward. And you can see the sun as it changes the angle. Alright. So that's if you want to change the lighting. I'm going to leave it at standard lighting, and I'm going to go ahead and shut that. That's if you want to change the lighting. This is actually fairly useful for looking at historical imagery. If you press this button, this is the time, it actually gives instances of imagery in the past that have been collected by Google Earth. And it looks like for this particular area, it has data points between 2019 and 1992. So if we go to here, I don't know if in this particular area there'll be that much change. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the most contemporary imagery, and I'm going to go to an area in Phoenix that I know has changed a lot. And if you click this N button, it should reorient itself so that now north is up. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the East Valley of the Phoenix metropolitan area, where Phoenix, Mesa, and Gilbert are. If you, in this one, it looks like it has imagery from 2019 to 1984. So if I go back in time, I can slowly see some changes. So I'm going to just go ahead and jump back. So if you just click on it, you can see that it keeps some of this historical imagery, but you can see the change over time. So if there is a significant landmark that existed in the 90s that no longer exists, Google Earth might have caught it, and it might have a record for it that you can use for mapping. So Google Earth has different data vintages. So down here, it'll tell you what date that imagery was collected. So if we turn off the historical imagery, it'll tell you the vintage of the data. So for this extent, It was last collected January 13th, 2018. And for many urban areas, the vintage will usually be pretty recent within the last year or so. So this one is August of 2019, but for some more rural areas, there might not be a contemporary vintage or a more, a recent vintage. Okay, so again, to navigate, you can use the search bar. And you can navigate using your arrows. So here is Horseshoe Bend, and this has also been 3D rendered, so you can actually travel through Horseshoe Bend if you like Superman. Some other tools, if you look at this layers, it'll give you, if you want to turn on photos, if you want to see things that people have been taking pictures of that have been shared to Google Earth. So I'm going to click on here, and it shows a picture, and you can look at those. Some of them are panoramic, and you can go in and you can see their pictures. Other options, you can turn on roads, and it'll label the roads like this, Highway 89, so if you need that reference information for your map. If you don't like 3D rendering, you can turn it off here. So that's the basic navigation for Google Earth. There are some tools in here. You can do a flight simulator where you can actually use Google Earth imagery to fly over the imagery using a SR-22 or an F-16. So if you have some time at home that you have Google Earth on your personal computer, you want to do that, you can do that here. But those are the basic navigation tools within Google Earth. And please join me for the next tutorial on how to do some customization settings on Google Earth.